Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. By the time Holaji sets up the presentation, the topic was not of my choice, it was assigned to me by my friend Jairamji. Jairam Garu. I have learned Vastu from the president, and Shri Satish Sharma ji has also always helped me in learning some basics. In fact, I have made it a habit that wherever I go, I just keep directions in my mind, and today it's very easy. Whenever you go to a new place, you always refer to your Google Map, and Google Map always tells you about the direction. The top is always the north, and when you see the road across which the building is, you immediately know the directions. And once you know the directions, that's the habit I have developed, that few very, very basic points I keep in my mind, and whenever I enter a building or any place, there is a tendency to look on the aspects. So therefore, this presentation is very simple, very basic, and probably you'll like it. So, two aspects of life I have covered: wealth and health. So health first, wealth later, and only few basic aspects. So, and the basic building blocks, as you all know, are these only. One is Vastu Purush. Next is the 45 deities on the plot. And further to that, we have 10 directions, the Dikpala, then the 14 Ratnas and 9 planets. So these are the building blocks, and I think those who refer to the ICAS book on Vastu, that is Vastu Chintamani, this is a diagram which is used everywhere in explanation of all the basic principles. Next, please. So, just when I enter a house, I just look at these few things for understanding the health of the natives, whether it is mental or physical. And this only gives an idea. There is no need to predict anything, just to have an idea. So, these points I'll show pictorially also in the subsequent slides. So, protect the spinal cord of the Vastu Purush. Next, take care of the clockwise flow of energy flow. And I'll give you the example. Next, permanent occupation of a place in the house, especially the bedroom, and at a particular place. This is an important aspect. Slope is another important thing. Staircase, then the level of the home with respect to the road in front, doors at unwanted locations, inclined house. What I mean by inclined house is that the house, the plot, which is not aligned to the cardinal directions, and extension of house, and that to particularly northwest or towards the Vayavya cone. And house exposed to uncontrolled excess energy. This is a situation which is created when a house is at the end of a street, and which we call it as a T point. So I'll give that a picture also. So when we talk of spinal cord, most of you must be knowing the concept of Vastu Purush, and the spinal cord is this area, which is right from the Ishan cord to the Brahmastan. So this is an area which is required to be protected, and protection can be in any form, whether it is weight or any thing which is I would say that which makes the place dirty. And in category, the first is toilet, of course. So when we look at the Vastu Purush, it was the spinal cord, and when we look at these deities, it is from the Shikhi to the Brahmastan. So this is the important area which is required to be protected. So when we say heavy structure or maybe toilet, so when you talk of the head or the other parts of the body, so there is something which will indicate problem related to the mental state, psychology, and then something which is physical. So the first is that in that area, Ishan Cone area, if you have some heavy structure, which could be a staircase or a pillar. In fact, this is a very common problem which is observed where wherever you go and you find that there is some problem with the health and that too particularly with the psychological health or mental health. So this is that area. And the next one is when you come to the lower part where your Manipur is, Manipur chakra. So this is that area where if such kind of defect is allowed in the house, then physical ailment is a likely possibility. So when I am saying everything is likely, I will never ever proclaim that this has to happen, because ultimately horoscope is above the Vastu. So next please. So same thing is true for toilet also. So and here click next also. So this is the area where you have to avoid the toilet. So the head portion and the balance part of the spinal cord up to the Mooladhara. So this portion is to be avoided to take care of the health, mental and physical. Next. Now this is another important aspect. Normally you know that the energy flow in the house is in clockwise direction. And whether it is kitchen or the bedroom, what is important is that since the energy flow is clockwise, we should avoid having toilet first and then the activity center. So why? Because So normal direction of flow is clockwise, and if toilet is first and then the activity center, this energy, which is this positive energy or sacred energy or beneficial energy, if that travels via the toilet to the activity center, then there is likelihood of physical health problem. Next. So now this is also an important aspect. In fact, normally we say that if you want to send children away or a girl of marriageable age, give the room in Vayavya code. That is true. But what I want to tell you is that if Occupation is this area is for a very long time. If somebody stays there for a very long time, then there is a possibility of health problem. And especially if you see and look at the deities, you have Roga, Naga, and Papayakshama. So that is the area which is required to be avoided for the purpose of permanent occupation. Next. Now, this is another important thing. When we talk of slope, we all know that slope has to be at the the highest area has to be Nairitya Kon, and the lowest area has to be Ishanya Kon. And if the slope is reversed, then it is bound to give problem. And there also, if the slope is from Ishanya and the lower side is Nairitya, and the second, this one. So from east to west, this is something which will cause problem with the health. Now, somebody can say that if it is from north to south, yes, that also gives the problem, but that is more to do with the financial health. But as far as the physical ailments are concerned, physical problems are concerned, this is from east to west or northeast to southwest. Next. This is another common problem because we are in an age where we don't want to leave any inch of land. And those days are gone when Raja Maharajas used to make the colonies in such a way that the roads used to be at 90 degrees to each other and aligned to the cardinal direction. In fact, in most of the places, the places which have progressed, you will find that the plots where people are living are aligned to the cardinal direction. So this particular situation is also a permanent is a situation which causes permanent problem. And you can see that if a plot is facing towards towards Vayavya Kon or the Nairitya Kon, I am saying facing, then this definitely causes the health problem and more to do with mental problem, whether it is Vayavya Kon, more to do with anxiety and other things, and if it is Nairitya Kon, more to do with fear psychosis or some kind of fear. So this type of situation is required to be avoided as much as possible, and especially face a plot or a house facing towards northwest or southwest. Usually you will not find this kind of problem today because people are very conscious, but there used to be houses like this which were below the road level. So road level in front, and that too I'm talking of east or north direction. If your house is facing east or north direction and the road in front is above the floor level of the house, then this is definitely going to cause problem and more to do with your physical ailments, health issues. Next. And lastly, for the health issues, that is the location of doors. These doors are, of course, are the best locations. I think all of you know that in the north, when you talk of 81 pada Vastu, in the north, third, fourth, fifth pada is auspicious, third and fourth in east, fourth in south, and fourth and fifth in west. These are the auspicious locations, but there are other locations where if you have the doors, those will cause health issues. So these are the locations which will cause health issues. So, from in the northwest, on the north side, first and second, and on the west side, seventh and eighth. Similarly, first and second near Naritepon, and the eighth in the south. This also will, if there is an entrance there, it will cause health issues. And of course, in the east, I have written fifth also because it, as per the classical, it increases anger, and anger is a form of health issue, especially when we talk of mental health or psychological health. Next. And one more simple thing, which is common in all these scriptures, all the literature, and that is Swayam Udaghatite. So, if a door opens of its own, it causes unmad. So, this is a common saying, common thing which is written in most of the literature, that if a door opens on its own, it will cause unmad. So, this has to be taken care of. And nowadays, of course, you have door closures or other methods by which you can stop this thing to happen. And this is another thing, because we know that northwest side or whatever cone side you have those deities which are inimical to the health, especially the mental health. So any kind of extension in this direction will cause such problem. So please, next. So any kind of extension towards Vayavya cone will cause issues related to mental health. And so, the last one, of course, for the health, and that is, which I said in the beginning, that concentrated energy striking directly on the house. Actually, this is a kind of lens. On the street, houses are there which are making a kind of lens. So there is a concentrated energy which goes and strikes with the house. So this is also something which is undesirable and should be avoided. You will find many astrologers or Vastukars saying that this is good in east, northeast or north direction. It may be good partly from the angle of finance or wealth or luxuries, but it should be avoided because excess of anything is bad, and such a situation should be avoided. Next. Now, issues with the finance. That was about the health. I have picked up only few. Can I change the mic? Hello. Hello. Yeah. So I have picked up only few points about health, and again few about the finance. So again, when we talk about finance, then when we were talking about health, it was including the Brahmastan. But when I talk of finance, it's mainly concentrated in between east to northeast to north. So only that area which and the head of Vastu, that's the area which is required to be avoided. So it could be a pillar, it could be a staircase, or it could be any other thing which increases the load or the weight in that particular area. Next. Okay, so this is another thing which is quite common. People really don't understand this. So people think that that's the zone for water. So So people think that this is the zone for water, so you can have water tank there, but overhead water tank should be avoided at any cost. And I have seen many cases where this has caused huge problem. Similarly, here there is a conflict of nature between the natural element and the element that is provided by the external structure, that is water tank. So water tank in Agneya cone will definitely cause a problem with respect to the finance. In fact, these two cases I have come across very recently, and it has really caused a lot of problem to the family, and these have been changed now. Next. Next. So this is again reverse slope, as I said earlier. If the slope is towards west, then it will cause health problem. If the slope is towards south, it will cause finance problem. Next. Next, please. And doors. So these are the auspicious locations of doors, and then the doors which are undesirable are these, and this we have to see that these locations of doors should be avoided as much as possible. Now that was about health and finance. Only thing is that things like when we talk of toilet, and that too particularly in northeast, or overhead water tank in southeast, those today when we live in multi-storied flats, the situation is little different. I mean, you can't apply this principle in toto for all the floors. So when we talk of toilet, the effect will be maximum on the ground floor, and similarly when we talk of overhead water tank in Agneya cone, effect will be maximum for the top floor. So such kind of modifications are required to be done to reach at the final conclusion. So these were few picks from the learnings which I got, and with my experience I shared with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for an enlightening presentation on the subject. Indran Garu to honor the speaker, please. Now I have started thinking, sir, whether I am standing on the right path or not to finish my job successfully.